Hey guys, this is the second video in a multi-part series on simple edits in Adobe Premiere Pro. Today we're going to be looking at importing your own raw video footage, making simple edits, and finally exporting your project. Let's jump into it. Go ahead and open Adobe Premiere Pro. Find the project that you started in the last video where we began to create your beginning and end credits. And in the bottom left panel, navigate to the furthest left tab that has your project name. Right-click, hit Import, and from your Explorer or Finder window, find your raw video. Click Import. You'll see in the bottom left panel that your video is now in the Media Contents folder. We want to insert the video footage just after the name of the work and the author slide. Use the blue cursor in the bottom timeline sequence to find the end of the opening credits. Right-click on the name of your video and find Insert. If you've done this correctly in your sequence now, you should see the blue video tile. If not, navigate to Edit, Undo, or hit Ctrl-Z, and ensure that the blue cursor was placed properly right after the beginning credit tile. The zoom function will help you line this up. Now that we've imported your video, we want to change the duration of the beginning. Find the point in the video at which your play begins.
Hey, you!
And grab the left corner of the video and pull it to that spot. We can pull over the video tile so that it links in with the end of our opening credits, and check to see the result.
Hey, you!
Take the time now to allow your performance to play all the way through to make sure there's no glitches in the video or in the audio. If you're happy with your performance and there's no errors, your next step can be as simple as finding the end and changing the duration so that it cuts off at the end of your performance. If this is true of yours, make sure you also grab the end credits and link them to the end of your video tile. You can now proceed to the exporting stage. Have a look at the timestamps in the video description to find that step. In this video example, there's a slight glitch when Marcus turns off his video. We'll make several quick edits in order to fix this. Since Tony's face takes up the entire screen in this final scene, we want to make it so that after Marcus's last line, it immediately jumps to Tony's face on full screen. This could be as simple as coming into the center column and finding the blade tool, finding Marcus's last line, clicking in line with the cursor, coming back to your selection tool, and dragging the duration to where Tony begins to speak.
All in all, this would...
However, since Tony begins talking before Marcus's video shuts off, we'll need to make a slight adjustment prior to Tony's video changing to full screen. Find the point at which Tony's face occupies the whole screen. We want to be real specific, so zoom in and use the cursor to find the point exactly where that change happens. Find your blade tool again, and cut along the blue cursor line. Come back to your selection tool, pull the cursor over to preview the selection we're going to modify, and make sure it's highlighted. You can now come up into the top left portion of your screen, find Effect Controls, and use the drop-down to access the motion options. We're going to scale Tony's face so he takes up the whole screen, and use the X-axis control to pull him over to the left. In the position row, grab the first number and pull Tony's face a fair ways to the left. In the scale row, start to pull it to the right in order to grow Tony's face. Experiment with this until Tony's face takes up the whole screen. Use the blue cursor in the timeline sequence to check our edit with Tony's final scene. If there are any slight discrepancies between the two, do your best to change the first clip to match that of the last. Remember, you can always find the return arrow in each of the rows in order to reset the effect completely. Now that we've finalized the edits, we want to ensure that there are no gaps. Grab each of the tiles and pull them into one another. Find your end title sequence, highlight it, and pull it over. And preview your work.
Heck of a dinner. All in all, this was shaping up to be one heck of a dinner. I'll say this though, I always had this two-way thing with my brother.
At the end of the scene, change the duration of your video clip to match the final line of Tony's dialogue. Finally, we'll add a fade effect to transition from the film into the final credits. Navigate to the bottom left panel, find Effects from the tabs, Video Transitions, Dissolve, and Film Dissolve. Click and drag this to the end of your film tile. You can adjust the duration of your fade by grabbing the left corner and changing its length. And once again, preview your work. If your video requires that you add titles in between two video clips, follow the same steps we took before. Find your media in the left panel, hit Import, hit Insert, adjust the duration of the clip so that it's in line with the beginning and end of the scene. Pull the video tile so it's in line with your beginning credits. Navigate to the end of your first video clip and find black video from your media panel. Right-click and insert. Use the blue cursor to navigate over your black video. Find the text tool and create a text box in the preview pane. In this instance, we'll use the name of the next character making an entrance. Type in the character's name, click on the selection tool, and with the box to the left highlighted, use the drop-down text column. Reset. Choose Avenir Next, Regular, and Center. Use the slider to change the size of the name, and scroll down to transform if you wish to reposition your title. In the sequence panel, pull the name so that it's in line with your black video tile, and access the Effects tab from the bottom left panel. Find Video Transitions, Dissolve, Film Dissolve, and attach this to the name. Preview your work. Change the duration if you wish. 2 seconds is probably fine. And now we'll insert our second video clip. Use the blue cursor in the sequence pane to find the end. Come back into the bottom left panel, choose your project from the tabs, and right-click on your second video clip. And repeat the same steps. After previewing your work, it's time to export. Navigate to the Program tabs, hit File, Export, Media. In the export settings, we're going to check a few things. In the format, we want to ensure this is H.264 and choose YouTube 720 HD from the preset drop-down menu. This will match the 1280 by 720 in our summary. Under the Video tab, scroll down, find Render at Maximum Depth, and click this. Continue to scroll down. Under Encoding Settings, we'll leave this as Hardware Encoding. The profile should be set to high and the level at 4.2. Continue scrolling until you see bitrate settings. Choose VBR 2-pass from the drop-down. And use the sliders to set the target bitrate to 32. Finally, click Use Maximum Render Quality, and you're ready to export your video. Hit Export. Before submitting, preview your submission once more. You'll need to find it on your computer. Check your downloads or documents. Sometimes it exports to the desktop depending on the directory. You can also use your Explorer or Finder search option. Often the video will be called the same name as your project, but occasionally it'll show up as the name of the first clip, which in this case would be Black Video. If you're happy with your submission, navigate to the Google form, choose your class code from the drop-down, and click Add File. Choose the file from your device and upload it. The Google form allows for video submissions up to 1 gigabyte in size. This should be more than enough for your video submission. If your file is too large, double check that you followed all the export settings correctly and that you accurately change the duration of each of your video clips so that they only include the scene and not any pre or post amble. Once your submission is uploaded, click Submit. You'll receive email confirmation that this step has been completed. Thanks for watching, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.